Welcome to Season 2, Episode 3 of the Game of Stones podcast. I'm here today with Bruce Pinsler from Atlantis Fabrication in North Chicago, Illinois. Let's get started, man.
Hello, my brother. How are you?
Thank you for coming. I appreciate it.
Well.
I appreciate you canceling your appointments. You had some medical appointments, actually. Semi-life-threatening, no big deal, but I appreciate it.
A little knee scrub, no big deal.
All right.
Yeah.
From your skiing, right?
You
spent 40 days skiing.
Just under 40 days, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you're,
it's my love.
That's heavy.
Yeah.
It's a lot of exercise, dude. And you're in phenomenal shape.
I am not in phenomenal shape.
You're in phenomenal shape. That's okay. I appreciate you being humble. Okay?
No, I'm not.
And don't say you, because I could be in better shape. Okay?
Well, we're going to talk about that after the show.
Exactly.
I have something for you.
I love it.
Yeah.
Atlantis Fabrication today is a phenomenal up-and-coming granite shop in North Chicago.
We just started,
We just started a couple years ago.
We're 2 years into it, and
and I'm proud to say all Poseidon equipment, so
only
thank
Poseidon,
you for the
forever.
opportunity. Okay.
Forever. We are committed to only Poseidon equipment.
But that happened because of your long-standing career.
Our relationship.
Thank you.
Because we're relationship people.
I appreciate that.
We are. Everything's about relationships.
Didn't see that coming.
And you have, that's what life is.
Absolutely.
You have to form relationships. You have to enjoy people you work with, and you have to know that they're sincere and that they're going to help you evolve. And the technology is great, but it's more about like knowing that somebody has your back.
I appreciate that, man.
And it's true.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, and that's why we're brothers now.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
True.
True. So let's go back though. I want to talk about you.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So going back to.
So I'm from the home remodeling industry.
Of course. So that's how you decided to randomly open up and spend multi-millions of dollars into opening up a granite shop. That then I had the honor of you telling me.
But you got to go way back to get there. So
Exactly.
My dad was a tin man. I never told you that, have I? So did you ever watch Danny DeVito and the Tin Man? You guys know that? The Cadillac, the whole thing. That was my dad.
Wow.
My dad was a tin man back in the 70s.
Oh, wow.
U.S. steel, aluminum siding salesman.
Nice.
Yeah, so I was born in that industry.
Good old-fashioned Chicago.
One closed sale.
American dream.
Just take that frame house and put the siding on it. And
So I'm guessing he had a lot of charisma, knew how to close people.
Just quite a bit, yeah.
Nice.
So my first venture was in the home remodeling industry, and I was 16 years old, and my dad had a little small construction company, and one of the things that he had to sell were storm doors. And he had a contract with a department store, and none of the salesmen wanted to sell storm doors. And I was 16 years old in high school, and he said, Bruce, you're going to sell.
So I'm from Florida. What is a storm door?
Storm door is what is in front of your door to keep the wind out.
So it's like the first door.
It's the first door. It's that little screen door that you walk into.
Okay.
And none of his salesmen wanted to sell storm doors because they couldn't make enough money. So he said, you're going to sell storm doors, and you sell the door for this much, you make $25. This much, you make $35, and this much, you make $50. And after learning about storm doors, I was making more money than his salesmen were making selling storm doors.
You want to prove yourself to your dad.
Well, I just, so I come from the home remodeling, one closed sit sale industry. So you're window salesman, you're siding salesman, you're roofing salesman. And for 20 something years, I owned a business after working with my father that we did full service remodeling in Chicago. And it was a one sit close. You sat at somebody's home, you got to their table, and you closed the deal. And I did that.
You measured all their stuff, showed them that you knew what you were talking about. So they gained confidence, and then that was it.
It evolved from me and a couple guys selling to me and having 20, 25 salesmen selling.
Wow.
And building pitches and building and learning the what it was to close a deal. The old time closing deals.
And that's Regency home remodel.
So that's before Regency.
Oh, before Regency. Okay.
That's before Regency. And
but still, same.
Not really. So we started out, and it was a high pressure close. Like you have Renewal by Andersen windows, where they go out and they try to pitch the close, they pitch the financing, they pitch the payment. That's old school for me, and that's where I started. And I had that business for over 25 years, and I did very well with it. And but it was a grind because you have a lot of moving parts and a lot of salesmen and financing, and it was I made a lot of money, but it was a lot
to put together.
A lot to put together, and managing hundreds of people, and finally that ran its course, and then I started Regency, where I do kitchen and bathroom modeling.
And then you graduated to, your son now is running Atlantis Fabrication and involved in Regency home remodeling.
So
that I've had the pleasure of meeting.
Yeah.
Family business still.
Yeah.
But now, from what I understand, Regency home remodeling had grown so much that you guys are doing a lot of stonework. And when you're doing the remodeling, the last thing that has to happen are the countertops.
Yeah. So what happened is we created a home remodeling kitchen and bath business where we have our own employees, we have our own licenses, and our workers do everything. So we do the entire job from the time we sell it, through all the design phasing, through all the permitting, and then the work itself. And you're not dealing with a plumber, an electrician, you're not dealing with all these different, you're dealing with our little small group of people. And we would take the job from design through permitting and through execution, and then at the end of the job, the disconnect was the countertop guy. So when you do a kitchen, you set the base cabinets in place, and you can't even measure the countertop until the base cabinets are there. And then we're at a point where we're waiting for the countertop guy to come in and do his job, and our customers are losing patience because the guy wouldn't show up, or the job wouldn't, or they wouldn't do it right, or they'd chip something, or they'd have the workers that didn't have the same mentality of ours, where the customer's always first. And my son would always say to me, "Dad, the countertop guy is holding up the job." I'm like, "Let's open a shop." And
how long did that go on for?
That went on for like 2 or 3 years, right? Like, let's open a shop. Let's open a shop. And finally, he called my bluff, and he said, "Okay, let's open a shop."
Yep.
And we started to shop around and look at different research, look at different machinery. And our first intuition was just open a small little shop. We're about a $500,000 a year user for countertops, and
you're spending about $500,000 a year in countertops.
Yeah, countertops and shower benches and niche shelves and all the little things that we needed. And so we were going to buy a bridge saw and open a little shop. And then we started looking at the industry, and I've never sold business to business before. And I'm like, this could be a really good thing for you because it's residual counts. You're not every day having to make a new relationship.
Right.
And it's a business that you make a relationship with somebody, and you do what you say, and you do the quality.
And you just get the orders.
You get the orders.
Yeah.
Right. And I thought it as a better future for my son and one of my other boys. So we started really looking at what that would look like. And then you came along.
Well, I was one of the ones that we were nice enough, we were lucky enough, and you guys were nice enough to keep an open mind, because at the time, a couple years ago, 3 years ago, we were still kind of like, I want to say we are still the disruptors. He was nice enough. We got on a Zoom call.
We did.
I kind of told him the technology, and I think it really clicked for him what we were doing.
Yeah.
With the hybrid cycle, and we're like, we're going to do everything in one shot.
Yeah.
And he's like you. He's got the best of both worlds in the sense that like he can be analytical and sit down and look at numbers. That guys like me and you, we usually are more like people. We just like to feel energy.
But processes are really important.
Yeah.
Having a process and having a way to execute that process is the most important thing. And when you can show a process where it makes sense.
Yeah. Or it's less steps.
Like you're an engineer, you're much smarter than me, but I understand the basics of having a process in place.
Yeah. So I think that caught his attention, and enough to have you guys come out to Nashville, which was one of the more memorable. And we saw the technology, and I just thought it was a funny conversation because I was hearing you guys talk, and you guys were just talking in front of me.
Yeah.
And you were the one that you said, okay, we need a bridge saw for backup. We need an edge machine. We need a T-Rex, right? They were like, yeah, we need a T-Rex. Yeah, we agree. And then all of a sudden you were like, no, you know what? we need 2 T-Rexes.
Yeah.
And they were a little bit more fearful, which usually it's the opposite, right? Like the younger guys trying to say like, let's go all in and get this shop. But you guys also had a great opportunity where you got that building that's huge.
You got to think big, Joe.
Yeah.
You've done that. You've always thought big. You have to think big. You have to, but you have to be able to have the guts to put the infrastructure in place and to make it work.
No, you guys went all in. Got that great building. You guys redid because the building was old.
Yeah.
But you guys repainted the whole building, and
we spent $4 million before we cut our first piece of stone.
Yeah, absolutely. Between real estate and the machinery.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, like, I'm honored because it's one of the first times that a customer, probably the first time, somebody making that kind of investment, and then you guys were like, "Hey, we love your colors.
Yeah.
Can we use your colors?"
Yeah.
And then we took it a step further, and you guys were like, "We're thinking of the name. What do you think?
Yeah.
Do you think?" And you actually took my idea.
Yeah.
Because I called it Atlantis.
Yeah. Well, you're a partner.
In respect of Poseidon, Atlantis, and we're using the same colors. And then I know you have a Maserati, so that also, because the Maserati logo is a trident from Poseidon, right? So I thought to myself, that would be cool if we could incorporate the Maserati logo into your company logo, which we did. And now Atlantis, the funny thing was that after we did a first demo there, everybody was asking like, did Poseidon open up a shop in Chicago? And I was like, no, we didn't open up a shop. We opened up a shop like, we set you guys up.
But you did bring instant third-party credibility to us. And we didn't, like I said, we didn't cut a piece of stone, and we had to go out in the third largest market in the world to try to capture market share.
Yeah, we did.
And, there's a lot of shops, and you got to set yourself apart. Yeah. And the first thing is your intellectual property, and that's having your shop, your filtration system, your machinery.
We put everything: jib cranes, backsplash machine, the bridge
saw.
You
have to put it, so we put our money where the mouth was first before we.
And it's a beautiful facility. Like if you look at it, anybody that is a potential customer in my eyes, if they go there and they're looking to get quality and they're looking to get service, like there's no doubt you're going with Atlantis Fabrication.
Yeah, I mean there's a lot of great shops in Chicago, and obviously, like I said, it's the third largest market, so it's not an easy market to capture. But we have a reputation through the home remodeling industry, the quality and value, always building quality, and always customers always come first. You have to have that mindset.
And you guys have a great team too. Like you have some experienced, real old school. I don't want to say old school, but experienced, because they exist more in the old school than the new school.
Yeah.
But like marble craftsmen.
Yeah. So
you got a couple great gentlemen, Eastern European, Polish guys.
Yeah. So we have
amazing workers.
So Chicago's the second largest Polish population to Warsaw. And I've always had Polish workers. We have 40 Polish workers in our home remodeling industry.
Wow.
In our business. And guys who can do everything. Right. And so
real problem solvers.
So when we started looking for the workers in our shop, we took one of our best foremen and brought him into the shop. And then we basically went and found guys working in other shops, and they wanted to work for us because we have a good reputation of being loyal to the workers, because the workers are everything. Without your workers, you're nothing.
Yeah.
If you don't have great workers, machinery is great, your systems are great.
Yeah.
But if you don't have the guys who could execute, you're nothing. You have to have guys who can execute your systems.
And now I see Atlantis is like, you guys are doing a lot of nice, because I've seen some of the posts on your Instagram. Yeah. Atlantis Fabrication, North Chicago. There's only one. Yeah. Look for the Poseidon colors.
Yeah.
If you want to look you up.
Yeah.
You're doing a lot of kind of like luxury, custom, beautiful. Like I know you're using the T-Rex to do a lot of shower pans, things like that. So people want to set yourself apart. I can do the nice custom stone shower pans. I can do miter jobs. We can do the Decton, the porcelain, everything.
We, the high end stuff's nice. But we're more with the average Joe customer, and we're doing a lot of middle high end stuff.
Yeah, you're offering like luxury stuff to the middle guy.
That's always been our.
So it can be affordable, but you can not level them up on their mid-range properties.
That's always been our sweet
Which
spot.
I think you told me something between like $700 to $1 million
Yeah,
is
most
the
of our
properties that you're
homeowners are
remodeling.
under $1 million house
Got it.
and over 500,000,
Right.
and some are higher and some are a little lower. But we've always catered to the regular American.
Right. That's awesome. But
Yeah.
and you want to now start expanding a little bit of the business because you have the production capabilities with the equipment you got.
Yeah. So our
So
long
like
time,
a little
yeah.
bit more production work.
Our long range
can
goal
handle
is
production
to
work.
do the big production work, because the machinery that you've handed us,
Yeah.
that's what it's made for.
Yeah. I
You
mean,
know,
yeah, you got 2 dual table T, right? You
Yeah.
got plenty of capacity
Yeah, with the hybrid system.
to,
I mean, that's
to have a mix of market.
Yeah, we've only done a handful of 100-unit buildings.
Got it.
And we've seen how easy those are and how efficient the machinery is to push those out. And because we're so good at installation, because that's what we've always done, that's where the other companies fail, is they don't understand how important it is from the time it gets from the shop to the job, and how efficient you can be getting it installed and getting in and out
The
of there.
reliability
Yeah,
is what sets you apart.
yeah.
Really delivering the end product.
Yeah, because
to what they
to do it in the
expect.
shop is one thing, and then to execute from the shop to the consumer.
Yeah, and I see your son's doing a great job with the marketing and really getting into delivering and building those relationships. So you're located in North Chicago, right? Talk to us a little bit about that. Like, what's the demographic? Do you handle all of Chicago? Chicago's big.
So we're in the northern suburbs of Chicago. Most of the shops in Chicago are in a little industrial area near the airport. So we're about 20 miles north of there. And then another 40 minutes from us is Milwaukee. So we're centrally located between Milwaukee and Chicago, so we can
So you can service
both of
two
the-
cities.
Both cities. Milwaukee has a huge upswing now in commercial work, and we're trying to tap into that. It's I think one of the biggest challenges being a new guy on the block is trying to get to the old boys club, where
Right. Guys that have been
guys have been, and you got to look at also, you look at $100 million projects or $10 million projects, and you look at what the number is for the fabricator, even though he's so important, because at the end of the job, if you don't have that guy putting the countertop in, the jobs aren't getting finished. Right. So we're important, but we're low hanging fruit because of our dollar value compared to the other guys. So some of the guys are they're content with who they have, and we got to break into that industry, and that's been our biggest challenge, I think.
And what would you say right now are the other things that you guys are focusing on in terms of like to level up? Is it focusing on more that production type of work, or
So more of the high end stuff like the decked in, because the machinery can cut it really well.
yeah,
Quartzite, of course, everybody's but more the thing that we're most excited about is the shower bases that we've been producing. So we've been taking.
yeah, those seem to be really hot.
So we've
in
been
your market.
So we used to do a couple hundred concrete shower bases a year.
Concrete.
So we put the concrete and the liner and the tile.
Right.
And that was on every job. So every job we did that with a master bath or a custom bath, or we took an existing bathtub and put a shower in its place. That was our bread and butter. We put the curb with the piece of quartz, and we do the shower base and the tile and the seat out of quartz. And then we started, with your machinery, we started doing the quartz shower bases. So where we've converted them from, all but 3 of them, from concrete bases to quartz shower bases. So
and
we
you
think
charge a little bit. You charge a little bit more.
the customer, yeah. I mean, they're more
they don't
money,
care.
of course.
But they don't care.
Because you don't have maintenance, you don't have to regrout. So when I started looking at the industry closer and I started doing my research, I realized that the grout companies and the caulking companies, was MetPay or whoever it was saying to the consumer, if you have a concrete shower base, every year you should recaulk it, and every 5 years you should regrout it. Can you imagine regrouting a shower base every 5 years?
Yeah,
or
you're never gonna
every,
remember.
nobody does that.
Unless
right?
you set the recaulking alarm on the
Right. Nobody does that. And sometimes we would pour a concrete base, and a month later the grout doesn't look, because of the hard water, or we didn't perfectly pitch it.
So it was easy to sell 100 and whatever shower basins with the quartz.
I think that the value really spoke for itself, because now you have a matching base with the seat, the countertop, the niche shelves, and all these pieces, they all match together, and it just brings the job together much nicer.
Very
nice. I
nice.
think that's.
So you're adding a lot of value. Doesn't take you that much more work necessarily.
Well, it's
to
less
do it.
work for us as the contractor, because it's.
You don't have to hire the tile guy to do the grout right and then the concrete.
Well, because a shower base, you have to frame it, you have to do the concrete, you have to do the vinyl liner, then you have to put the tile, then you have to grout it. In our bases, it's 1 hour and goes right over the plywood. We prime the plywood, put it over it, and you're done. And then you start tiling. So you cut down, for a contractor, you cut down your job by 2 days. And for a consumer, you don't have to worry about cleaning the grout or regrouting.
What's your biggest takeaways for guys that are thinking about opening a granite shop or a construction type business, starting from zero?
Communication. Just always answering the phone and returning phone calls, and not being that guy who disappears on your customer. And one of our things when we sell a home remodeling job, kitchen, bathroom, we work every day on the job. We are on that job every day, Monday through Friday. One of our workers shows up at that house every day at 8 o'clock, and he's out of there by 5 days a week, unless there's an emergency.
That's important, because a lot of guys I've noticed, because I've gotten a lot of work done on my house, they're like, yeah, he'll be there tomorrow. He comes in tomorrow, but
No.
not at 8 o'clock. He comes at like 11
No.
or 12, or it's a
So
different time
that
every
is
day.
our key to success,
Right.
is that we won't start a job until we know that we could be there every day to work on it.
Yeah.
And people remember that. Like if you do a great job for somebody, but you don't show up every day, you're not reliable, they're not referring you to somebody else,
Yeah.
right?
Inconsistency doesn't look good.
But if you're there every day, even if the job takes longer or something happens, you have a problem, if you're there every day working and you're communicating, that customer remembers that more than the work itself. They remember the process. So we will not start a job with our home remodeling business until we know, and we live by it every single day. Somebody's there working on a job every day, Monday through Friday.
So you know you can allot that person to be there every day.
One guy,
until
2 guys,
it's
whatever it
finished.
takes for that job. So
Right.
we do small bathrooms, it's one guy. If we do, larger jobs, it's two guys.
That's a great takeaway. That's
So-
that's something that people overlook. I think.
So, showing up every day and cleaning up every day is the key to success. You have to do good work. Like, you can't get away with shoddy work. But a lot of guys can do good work. But it's the process of being in somebody's home every day and respecting their home and understanding that they're expecting you every day. And if they're not going to be there, just a phone call and telling them, hey, we had an emergency, or we had an emergency, the worker had an emergency, something happened, and not having them call you and go, why isn't the worker here today? That never happens. Like, it never. Like, never in our business does somebody ever call us, go, why isn't the worker here today? They get a phone call from us first, always, always. And if we can't start a job because we didn't finish another job, we don't just go and start the job and tell the customer, oh, we'll be back 2 days later.
That's awesome advice.
I mean,
awesome.
that's the key. The key is communication.
Communication. What would you say is number 2? Like, aside from communication?
You have to hire.
Align yourself with good talent.
You have to have good talent. You have to, whether it's on the sales end or the production end.
But I would say, like, there's something that's a je ne sais quoi, okay? That's like a unspoken, that is a part, I think, of your success. You have a unique charisma and salesmanship that a lot of entrepreneurs don't have. I'm just saying, you're kind of born with it. I feel like no matter what I gave you, like if I sent you out and I said, Bruce, go over here, you're gonna sell this product.
Yeah. So
And you would be like, tell me the ins and outs
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
Tell me the good points and the bad
all right,
points.
so I'll tell you something.
Like,
So-
you will walk away with that signed
So
contract.
I used to do consulting work first. So I used to have partnerships with some of the radio stations in Chicago, and I used to come in and talk to their interns. And people think that you can just fall back on sales. Like, oh, if I'm not going to make it this, I can be a salesperson. But being a salesperson it's a profession. It's not something everybody can do. And you
Right.
have to, and it's not about being like the used car salesman that just
No.
bullshits people. It's about trust, building trust.
You gotta,
and make 'em-
well, you also have to, I feel like you really like people
Yeah.
and you really want to do right by people.
Yeah.
and you really want to create the relationship. So it's got to be in your DNA, I think, to really like
Yeah,
people
for me,
first.
everything's about relationships.
And then, you know, you want to have the relationship. You
Yeah.
want to create real value for people.
Yeah.
But you also have to know how to lead people, because they don't know. That's why they're coming to you. So you have to lead them to the right path to make the right decision that's best for them.
Yeah, I mean, I think when I sell somebody a job, I sincerely put them in the best position I feel they can be in. And if they spend more money because they want to buy a quartzite countertop instead of a quartz countertop, that's their decision. But at the end of the day, like,
What's the hardest time that you went through as a business owner? Like, whether it was personally, financially, like, what was the time that you had a rough time navigating?
so my first business that I had, my 25-year business, I lost it over some banking issues. And on my 50th birthday, I lost that business. I was at a meeting of my creditors on my 50th birthday, and I started over at 50
Wow.
with nothing. I made some key strategic mistakes because I thought that by protecting my customers and my employees was ahead of protecting myself. And I put myself in a very vulnerable situation, and I actually started over at 50 with nothing, with zero.
Well, first of all, thank you for sharing that. A lot of people don't ever mention the
You brought it
negative.
up, so I couldn't avoid it. Like you just called me out. You called me out on it.
I suppose it's the most difficult thing.
I'm just kidding.
Hey man, you could have said I tripped on my bike.
I was at a meeting of my creditors in federal court on my 50th birthday.
Well, hold on. At that point, to rebuild what you've rebuilt in short decade, like a lot of people would have thrown the towel in and probably said, screw it, let me go work for somebody. Why?
So I tried that, and thank God nobody hired me.
Really?
Yes, that's a true story. Yeah,
Wow.
I really tried to go work for people.
So after
And
getting
somebody
beat
coulda
up,
got-
you got
somebody-
beat up more.
So somebody could have gotten my experience and my drive for a very little bit of money, and I would probably still be working for that person today. And thank God that nobody hired me.
Wow.
And that was the best thing that ever happened to me. And I have children who look up to me, and the truth is that's what drove me to start over.
Your kids.
Because I could not, if I failed, then what would they see? But I have a really good friend of mine who came to me one day and said, I heard you lost your business. And I said, yeah, I did. And he goes, you're going to start a new one? And I said, I can't, because not only did I lose my business, but I lost everything personal. And he said to me, so what would it take to start a new business? And I said, it'll take this. And he said, write me a business plan and I'll help you. True. And I wrote him a business plan, and he fronted me, but it wasn't the money he fronted me. It was the confidence to move forward and start over again. Because that money I used for a few months. Because the day I opened my new business, I was so driven to succeed. And I was driven. And that's what.
So you had like an angel too.
Yeah, I have a friend who saved my life, who I'll always be grateful to. But it wasn't the money. It was more the confidence he put in me.
Not a lot
that
of
I
people
could start
would
over.
Share all that. Man.
That I could start over.
I gotta say I admire that.
I'm
and
not. I'm a
for-
human. You live by the sword, you die by the
But a
sword.
lot of people, we're all sometimes fearful to be vulnerable and like tell that story.
But
It's
I'm.
Because I lost everything too in the crash of 2008.
Yeah.
And I went from riding high, being a young entrepreneur, having real estate and this and that, and I
Anybody that
lost
takes
everything.
risks, risk rewards and
Yeah.
and the downside of that, right? Like if you push on and you.
It's about how many times you can get back up
Yeah.
and keep going.
Yeah, I've had a few lives, but I've been blessed. I've had a great life.
but you kept obviously a positive attitude, and that helped you.
There were times that
Of course. You're human.
Yes.
But overall, you said, I'm going to make this work.
Because I had people that counted on me.
Yeah.
I had my children, they counted on me. I couldn't let them see me as defeated.
So basically, make sure you have children so you
right.
have good motivation and pressure.
Five of them.
You got too many witnesses.
5 of them, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I had to put them through college. They didn't. Then my daughter just started college.
Wow.
Yeah. No, actually, she just started grad school. Yeah. And
you have amazing children. I met them.
Yeah,
I've been to your birthday party in 23.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
The big.
My kids are my legacy.
Yeah.
They're what I have.
It's coming up.
Yeah.
And I remember that was one of the first social things that I did after I lost my mom.
Yeah.
And I appreciate you kind of big brothering me through that, because you were like, come on, get out.
Yeah.
It's going to be good for you.
Death in a business is one thing, but losing people, that's...
and I know you've lost some.
That's deep. But that's, that's life.
It's how you take it. It's another punch, and you got to keep going.
Yeah.
That's why we're here, because we take hits.
Yeah.
It's okay to get hit.
You've been a great business partner.
But you got to keep it going.
Yeah.
And I appreciate all your support from day one.
Yeah. Business is always better if you enjoy the people you do business with.
Yeah, for sure.
Because money is great, and money gets you a lot of things. But at the end of the day, it's about the people you surround yourself with.
And it's easier to handle stressful situations. I mean, listen, I know that overall, it's amazing.
Yeah.
We've had ups and downs, peaches and cream.
Yeah.
Not everything's peaches and cream, but I know there's been times that you've called me and immediately we'll say something stressful, and then a couple minutes later we're joking and we're laughing about it.
I love possessions, don't get me wrong. Like, I love nice cars, but at the end of the day, the material things are great, but they're not the most important thing.
This is what's important.
Yeah, having relationships.
And that's why I made
this
podcast, because I wanted to bring everybody, because I think everybody has an awesome story.
Yeah.
And that's what's made me be inspired in my journey. It hasn't been about the money. It's been about the amazing clients, relationships I can talk about.
Yeah, the money, But
you need the health, your family first. Health, your friends, and then everything that comes after that.
Yeah. Life's about relationships, for sure.
Well, thank you for being
here,
here,
buddy.
Yeah. You're the man.
Love you, man.
Thank you.
Right.
Love you too.
Bye.